Sasha, it's good to see you back on tour. You've been in Australia, you've played Davis Cup. What is it like to be back?
Yeah, nice. Obviously, I've missed it. It's been quite a while for me. I mean, I don't think I've ever been away from tennis for that long in my life. So I've obviously missed it. Of course, there's still a lot of hard work ahead of me. I think it is getting a lot better since Australia, and yeah, I mean, I'm just happy to be playing on tour again, be playing inside the big stadiums, and be surrounded by the best players in the world.
The tour's been such a huge part of your life from before you were even a tour player. So, what did you miss the most?
To be honest, the competition and being out on the court, that is still what I love to do. This is still what motivates me every day. Playing in front of 10, 15,000 people. That is something that you just cannot get anywhere else. That feeling. So I've definitely been missing that, and yeah, the competition is something that you just cannot get somewhere else in life.
You had a win over Stan Wawrinka in the Davis Cup, which I'm sure was encouraging. How steep has been the curve of your improvement since you've come back?
I think that's just gonna be the way it is, hopefully, and hopefully it'll continue improving. In Australia, it was obvious that I'm not going to be playing my best tennis. It was obvious that I'm going to be very far away, but I'm getting closer, I think, and it is improving. So hopefully, he'll have another good week, and then in the next upcoming weeks, I'll see even more improvement.
Are you contending this week? Are you ready to do that?
I don't know. I have to look at every match as a final, kind of, and I have to take every match very serious. But I definitely feel a lot better than I have since the injury. This is probably the best I've felt since the injury. But again, there's other guys that have been on tour the whole time, and there's other guys that have been winning tournaments, have been reaching Grand Slam finals and all of that. So am I the favorite? Probably not, but I'm ready to compete again.
One thing that happened while you were away from the tour, I mean, you made it happen, is the creation of the Alexander Zverev Foundation. Yeah. And I wonder if you could tell us a bit about that and why it's so important to you.
Well, what the foundation is about, it's to help kids and adults and people all over the world with diabetes. I think that is a illness that is not talked about a lot, because I think in countries like Germany, like the US, like other rich countries, I would say, you can live with it quite a normal life. But that is not always the case, not everywhere else in the world, because a lot of places like a lot of places in Africa, a lot of places in Asia as well, some places in South America, the medicine is not always there, because the country is not as well run as probably maybe Germany or the US or Britain or France, or those kind of countries. So that is one part. I want to make sure that everyone around the world, and I'm sure that I will not be able to do it by myself. There's no way I can do it by myself. But I want to make sure that a lot of the people can live a normal life and can live a fulfilled life with this illness, the way I can, the way that millions of other people in Germany and the US can as well. And the second part is also, I think, when you get this illness at a young age, you have a lot of doubt in you, and I think people give you a lot of doubt as well, because I've always had doctors, I've always had people telling me that with an illness like that, you will never be able to be a professional athlete, not at a physical sport like tennis is. And I want to make sure that the message is out there that you really can, and that you shouldn't put limits on yourself just because you have an illness like that. And I'm sure that a lot of kids and a lot of parents, especially of these kids, can look at athletes like myself, as maybe Nacho Fernandez, who plays for Real Madrid, who has this illness as well, and say, it is possible, and then that you can become whatever you want with an issue like that.
Allow me to say it's remarkable to learn that you've been living with this all the time we've known you on tour. Why reveal it now, and how does it feel to have revealed it?
Oh, it feels amazing. It feels like you know, a stone coming off my shoulders in a way. But why now? Because for a long period I didn't feel comfortable with it. I think there's a lot of trauma from the past, maybe in a way. You know, a lot of you know, for example, in school I was maybe bullied a little bit for it, because you know, kids when they're 9, 10, 11 years old, they don't really realize why they do it. It's just like another thing they can bully you for in a way. So I in that kind of probably I took that with me for a long time, and I was still trying to hide that from the tennis world, the media, other players as well, because I just didn't feel comfortable with it. And at some point, you know, I thought to myself, I am an Olympic champion. I won the World Finals twice. I was number 2 in the world. And maybe in a way I can help those kids that are in my situation right now. I can help them in that way, and kind of have a person that they can rely to in a way, you know, and make it public and tell my story, so they don't feel as alone as they probably are sometimes.
How difficult has it been to manage this illness while you've played at the top level of tennis in the whole world?
Well, I had it since I'm 3 years old, so I don't know anything else. For me, this is just the normality of things. But I think with the medicine and with obviously technology, it's getting easier. Before you had to do everything manually. You had to measure your sugar manually. You had to inject yourself. I remember a time when you had to really take like you had a glass bottle and you had to take the insulin out of it into a, how do you call those things? Like
a tube, like a test
exactly,
tube or a vial?
like a tube, and then put it inside yourself. So now it's just a pen that goes into your leg quickly. You can, and then you can kind of move on with your day. I have a chip, you know, on my body somewhere, which shows me my sugar at all times. So the technology is improving, but I think the most difficult part, you know, is probably for the parents. You know, when your kid is 2, 3, 4 years old and becomes a diabetic, the kid doesn't really realize what's happening. You feel a little bit worse. You have to inject yourself sometimes before eating. You have to maybe watch out what you're eating sometimes. But I think for the parents it's a bigger stress, because they don't really know much about it. They don't know what's coming ahead for them. They're probably scared as well in a way, because it is a big change for them. So I think for them, I also want to kind of give a little bit of an inspiration, and be able to talk about it and say, look, it is what it is. It's obviously not something that you wish for, but again, your child or you yourself, you can live a fulfilled life and become whatever you want with it.
Thanks for sharing,
Yeah.
and good luck this week.
Thank you. Appreciate it.